Good morning, guys. Still in Daleville.
Good morning.
We decided to take a second 0 day. Not that I'm gonna ever feel 100%, but everything from like my knees down, it's still like bothersome. Like trying to figure out how to go about it. Like it's so complicated. I feel like where it stems from, what to do.
Well, without going to see like a doctor or some kind of other healthcare practitioner, you're just kind of guessing.
Yeah.
You know, you're at the stage of my knees hurt, my ankles hurt, my feet hurt.
Yeah.
And no very specific advice. So we've just resorted to Google and having recommendations for, you know, some supportive equipment and, you know, good old rest ice compression elevation.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, going to a medical professional is like...
That's excessive for what you're experiencing, you'd say.
It's not that. It's like, I mean, we're in Daleville, Virginia.
I'm just saying, like, it's not,
like,
this is not an emergency.
Yeah, no, like, I can walk.
But,
like, I can...
well, why not take an extra day of rest?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're just, I know you're having a hard time wrapping your head around more rest, but hey.
It is hard. Like...
You kind of just go crazy sitting here doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because you want to be out there hiking, do your miles. But when you need it, you need it.
Yeah, and I need...
And it's like,
I need Andrew to tell me that. Because
true.
I'm the one being like, no, you have to like go out, and he's like, well, what does that change? Like, versus like taking another like rest day because you're in pain.
We got no deadline. It's not like we had to make it to Waynesboro by the 13th. Like, we're not...
Well, thankfully we're close enough where in the next week we can get within distance to Waynesboro to get a shuttle.
Yeah.
Like, especially since we talked to someone we met on trail. His name is Machine. And he's a section hiker, and he's like, oh yeah, I've gotten shuttled from here to there, and like, don't worry about that part. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I've just been having a hard time, like, I don't know, having to like give yourself the time to rest, and it's like
I have to like
zeroing and double zeroing.
I have to give you permission to rest.
No, like, I don't know, it's just...
You're putting some kind of pressure on yourself.
Yeah, he didn't mean that literally.
I know. Yeah. I'm only joking.
Yeah, but
I don't actually.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around like.
You're being hard on yourself, basically.
Yes. Because like the knees, the ankles. I'm flat-footed, so that's also.
We should have taken 3 days to get in here.
Yeah, we took 2.
Instead of 2 days. And now we're paying for that mistake, kind of.
Well, I mean, it's also like pains that I've also been having since.
Yeah, but miles are gonna exacerbate that.
I know.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And I know it's not what you want to hear, but I mean, it's okay. We're still cool people, even though we can't do consecutive 20s.
Yeah. So just like.
That's okay.
You guys are seeing a lot of rest day, 0 day content, because the reality is like the pain is like what hiking like through hiking does to your body is like
conveniently it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it's also Cinco de Mayo.
So, and there's a Mexican restaurant right in front of the Super 8. So
perks, I guess, of being here still.
Basically,
a lot of people we know are here. And like they're all gonna head over to Ponchos, which is conveniently in the parking lot of the Super 8. So
basically, we're drawing up like a big sob story of like, like we have aches and pains, but the reality is we just want margaritas.
But yeah, basically it's just mentally hard for me to like wrap around the fact that I should take a 00 because I am in, pains where it's starting to like shoot up, like, the sharp pain shoot up. And on top of that, like next weekend, we have to take 3 0 days for my friend's wedding, which I'm so excited about to go home and see them. But it's like one of those things where it's like, oh man, like the 00s because of like, bodily pains.
Yeah.
Has to come like right before like the planned 0s that are coming up like really soon. So it's kind of hard because it's like you want to make progress, but at the same time like balancing out like your body versus going forward on trail, like, there's that hard balance. And mentally it's been hard too, or at least for me, I've been having a mentally hard time being on trail lately. But I do think it stems from like being in like physical pain a little bit.
Right.
So
like I can't, like when you're in pain, it's distracting.
Yeah.
From the beauty of the trail.
So
that's at least how I felt when I was like when I had that whole like Achilles thing in Marion.
Yeah.
Like I got back on trail and I was like, things still kind of hurt, so I was like not looking at as many flowers and rocks and things.
Yeah,
and you're just kind of like hyper aware to
yes
to like what you're feeling physically.
Yeah.
And it's very draining mentally.
Yeah, like of course like I love being on trail and I love seeing like all the awesome spots like McAfee and like Dragon's Tooth and like seeing the different towns, but there is that like part where there's like mental burnout. It's real, but it's like we're so excited to be here, but at the same time there's a level of exhaustion.
I'm hoping that we're doing these 2 0s now. It's like hopefully we'll be fresh enough to like do some miles. I mean, like we planned like the next like 9 days before like
something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like
9.
8 or 9, basically 8 or 9 days before we have to go back.
Yeah.
We planned it so that we're not doing like massive days. It's like 11, 15, and then we get close to like 20.
Yeah, because for us we can do that in like 2 miles per hour, which is very generous.
But taking
for us,
into account,
obviously, but
taking into account like terrain and stuff too. So it's like if we have a lot of gain, maybe we're only doing an 11. Yeah. But if it's like pretty flat, we'll do like a 16.
Yeah, and in my mind, if we could just like make it to Glasgow, I feel like that'd just be like close enough where we can make it to Waynesboro like by shuttle or something.
And that's like a 3 day. That's like 3 days of hiking.
Yeah.
Or how we planned it at least.
Yeah. There's some nice like thunderstorms coming, which we're gonna hike.
What are you gonna do?
Through, because what are you gonna do about the weather? Yeah. And I've been putting like KT tape and stuff, but if it's gonna be wet, I might be on the lookout to get like sleeves and stuff instead of like adhesives, because that obviously
it's getting expensive.
It's getting expensive because KT tape, I have to use like 5 million strips, like because if you're taping your knees, like,
and then every time you step in a puddle or put on a sock,
so it's raining the next
curl up and then you gotta like tape it back down.
It's like raining the next 3 days, and I'm like, I'm gonna go find maybe like a strap or two that like that goes around or whatever. But yeah, here's my reality. Yay. I mean, if anyone has any experience with this, please let me know how or what I could look into.
The gist is, you're being hard on yourself. You need more rest. I'm telling you need more rest. We're gonna try some things.
Yeah, basically, like, for the past couple of days, like, I've just been not making good decisions in terms of my body, and now, like...
Yes.
Andrew's like, no, you have to, like, not do that. Like, he's actually telling me, like...
I'm taking the reins now.
Do that. Yeah. Because I'm like, yeah, we could do 22 miles, and he's like, okay. And then, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, and he's like, Yeah. Of course, this is
really out of character for you. I'm usually the one that's reckless, and you're usually pulling back on my wacky decisions.
Yeah, but I'm also more competitive than you.
True. But now I'm finding myself having to be smart, which is frustrating because I don't like being smart a lot of the time.
Yeah. Sorry. This 0-day video is just gonna be just talking like this.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But thanks for listening to us and our woes on trail.
Yeah. Trail woes. That's the name of this episode.
At Bojangles, I want to try these bowberry biscuits, and I had to get the mac and cheese. But I love a Bojangles meal.
Let me put my shirt on if you want me to.
I was about to start filming. As you can see, Andrew has no shirt on.
No one wants to see this.
Okay.
Right?
That's all you get to see, guys. We just came back from Poncho's for Cinco de Mayo, had some margaritas and food with friends, and now we're back resting up. This is just, not an eventful day otherwise. Another day of rest, and still feeling the feelings. Wow, still feeling the things that I was thinking of earlier when I was telling you guys about my thoughts on the situation right now. I talked to my friend who has been super supportive, and every time I panic, I'm like FaceTiming her. Dara, you're amazing. Thank you for all your advice and help, because you know more about feet than I do because you're a podiatrist. But yeah, my friend has been super supportive, and I called her today, because of how I've been feeling and making sure that I am correctly identifying the pains that I have. And Dara said to just rest. That's the best thing I can do, plus take it easy. So the name of the game is to do less miles than we've been doing, which is mentally it's hard to go back down after accelerating on the amount of miles per day. But she's obviously right. The best course of action is just to take it easy. So we're not doing many miles to get out of town tomorrow, and we're gonna assess how it is as we go on. And next weekend, since we're going back to New York for the weekend, and we're renting a car out of Waynesboro, we at least we're close enough in the vicinity to wherever we end up, we can get to Waynesboro. So yeah, it's just been kind of a mentally rough day for me. So I guess that's where we'll leave off for today, because I'm just going to be sitting here. Got my ice packs for resting and laying down on this bed for the rest of the day. So yeah, I know what I have to do here, but it's hard at the same time when the goal is just to keep going north and all we're doing is walking, and that's exactly what I should take it easy on. So we'll be dealing with that for a little bit, hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, I think I'm gonna sign off here and take it easy and relax for the rest of the night. So thanks for going through this whole video of me just talking. And yeah, till Till tomorrow, guys.